Welcome to Animates, a retro anime review comedy podcast. Join our resident anime nerd Mackenzie and anime noob Lindsay as they delve into their VHS vault and review the best and worst of what the 80s and 90s had to offer. These episodes contain spoilers and adult language, so stick around if you're cool like that.
What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome back to your favorite weekly retro anime review podcast. I am one of your hosts, Lindsay, and I'm here with my other host, Mackenzie. How are you doing, Mackenzie?
I'm good. You said that almost like I was in trouble.
Well...
And I'm sure after last week I am.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That was an adventure. That for sure was an adventure. And I wanted to pay you back. And I was like, I wonder if this genre goes the other way. And I wonder if there's one which is like a bunch of men with their upskirt shots. So I typed the words into Google, sexy anime men, and shouldn't have done that.
Make sure your safe search is on for that one.
Yeah. So that plan backfired. And so I was like, shit, I don't know what to do. And then I was like, well, that last show was something. And so I thought maybe instead of, I can't find a sexy anime about men with panty shots, maybe it's time to revert back to my childhood, because that I was safe and times were good.
Back before the world broke us.
Yeah. So I chose this show because I used to play it outside at recess in elementary.
Oh, that I'm trying to think of, because like as a kid I would play Dragon Ball Z. I'd play Card Captors. We'd do a little bit of Sailor Moon because I was Tuxedo Mask.
Ooh, yes.
What else? I mean, I got one thing I think it might be. I'm gonna write it down here, and then
okay, you write it down.
Okay, it's typed out.
So I would always be Mochi. My friend would be Holly, and my other friend would be Suezo.
Mochi. What?
Play this at recess. It was really fun. Probably are wondering what this is. We played 1999's Monster Rancher.
Oh, fuck yeah, I love Monster Rancher.
Yes. I loved this show growing up. I was like, well, you know what? I'm 31 now. It's time to revisit this. So I did. And was doing some research on this show, and there's a synopsis that commonsensemedia.org did that's way better than anything I could write for this show.
Common Sense Media is such a dumb fucking website. They're like, Sailor Moon has a lesbian couple and it's not for children, it's the worst. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, Common Sense Media.
I know, it was like, there are people with two moms. Oh man. So I'm going to read you their
let the audience
synopsis.
know what they're in for.
Yeah. Borrowing shamelessly from both Pokemon and Digimon, this series follows a young video gamer who finds himself in an alternate world where humans and quote-unquote good monsters are allied in the fight against quote-unquote bad monsters. After first gaining success as a video game, the Japanese animated TV series Monster Rancher premiered in both Japan and the US in 1999. Appealing mainly to adolescents, the stories are widely varied in tone, but distinguished by slick, colorful animation and several exciting action scenes. Still, those who might be interested in this series would probably be better sticking with the Pokemon series.
Ooh, right. I haven't seen this show since I was a kid, but I remember really being into it.
Yeah, I really liked it. And even rewatching it, I was like, yeah, this isn't a terrible show. I mean, I was like, I definitely understand why my parents were annoyed when I watched it, because it can be annoying.
Now that I know it's Monster Rancher, Mochi's like the little duck one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Mochi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, no, wow, okay. All right, so I get to go, it's something I've seen, but I get to kind of go back in time to something I legitimately have not seen in a real long time.
Oh yeah. And it's great because the parents on commonsensemedia.org, this series was rated for ages 6 and up, and they very much disagree with that. And they think it's a much darker story, so it should be for ages 8 and up. So just go into it knowing that.
That's hilarious. Oh, fuck
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I get to
Mm-hmm.
load some stone discs that look like PlayStation discs
Hell yeah.
into a reader and get some monsters.
Hell yeah.
That's
Get to
all I
grab your
really remember is
rollerblades.
that there's a duck thing, a rock looking thing that kind of looks like the dude from like Mike Wazowski from
Yeah, Suezo.
yeah.
Yep. This is Mike Wazowski before Mike Wazowski.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
And
He
that
does this
yeah.
thing where he blinks because he's just one big eyeball. So he blinks, but he blinks his pupil, not his eye.
Oh,
It's fantastic. Keep an eye out for it.
I'll keep an eye out for it. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. But yeah, we're going to watch the first 3 episodes and we will come back and see how Mackenzie liked it.
It better hold up to the way it does in my brain.
Oh man.
I hope it does, because sometimes they don't, and then you just get sad.
Well, we'll find out. And we're back. That was super quick. But in that time frame, we have managed to watch 3 episodes of Monster Rancher. And Mackenzie, how did you feel about this one?
Shit, you only watched 3, I watched all 75.
Did you?
No, I didn't.
I was like that. I would not be surprised if you did watch all 75.
No. I know I have a habit of watching things we watch multiple times. I only watched these 3 episodes 2 times,
Oh, okay.
but whew, that was a nostalgia kick in the pants.
I know, right? Just overdosing on nostalgia. It's great.
And like with things like Pokemon and Digimon, I've actively followed those throughout the years.
Mhm.
So the nostalgia's there, but it's also an active enjoyment. With Monster Rancher, I literally haven't seen this since I was a 10-year-old kid. And it
Yep,
wasn't
same
some
here.
show that I found on a lone VHS or like downloaded via LimeWire or got, up late to watch, late night TV shows on YTV or whatever. No, it was like a show I actively got up for on a Saturday morning and then never watched again.
Yep, I did the
So
same thing.
watching it was pretty cool. I ended up not remembering much of what actually happens in the first few episodes, so it was kind of like a first watch again.
Mhm.
I could tell you the first episodes of like 50 other anime I've seen as a
Oh,
kid,
yeah.
but this one, it was like I remember 10% of it.
Well, now you
and
remember all of it.
and that's not because it's trash.
No.
Monster Rancher as a concept is pretty cool. You find these ancient discs and revive the monsters that are all these good little guys that'll help you out and be your friend. But so many of these monsters are some of the most uninspired monster designs I've ever seen.
I
Not
agree.
all
What
of
do you
them.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, you're right.
I need to make it clear to those fan folk out there. Not all of them. Some are pretty cool, but wow, some of them are like,
Well, yeah, when it comes to, like, original monster design, I would say with, like, with between, like, Pokemon, Digimon, and Monster Rancher, I would say Monster Rancher is probably 3rd in that ranking for originality in the monsters.
yeah, they're like, we got this cool wolf monster. It's a wolf, but it's blue.
And it's
Now we
got
got this other one.
horns.
It's a wolf, but it's red. You're like, okay.
This one's a rabbit. It's just a rabbit.
Yeah. And like I said, some are cool, but they all have the same friggin' name. Like Suezo and all others of his kind are called Suezo. Why doesn't Holly give him a nickname or something? Why is
Right?
Golem? Why is the hair? Like, that's my
Yeah.
biggest problem with this is the lack of creativity in the naming.
Yeah. I would agree.
But I am about to completely contradict literally everything I just said
All right, hit us with it.
because my favorite monster is Pixie, who is our
Oh my
winged
gosh, I love Pixie.
bikini goth girl demon who is not a new
She's
exciting take on demon
amazing.
girls at all.
Nope.
But she is still a hottie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I remember loving Pixie.
When she becomes good later on and transforms into Granity, she becomes a green-haired Valkyrie in a stone bikini, and that design is actually really cool. And I also love her. And if you say any different, you are wrong, and I hate you. Not
Wow,
speaking to
those
you,
are some
but
strong
everybody.
opinions.
But
All right, noted.
since they're listening to our podcast, I love them again.
Yes.
As long as they let me enjoy my goth girls and muscle Valkyrie mommies in peace.
I'm sure that's
All
not
right.
too much to ask.
as soon as you see them, you'd be like, "Oh, I get it." And don't look at the weird video game 3D models, okay? Look at the
No,
TV
no.
show
Look at
art.
the animation. Yeah. Don't look at the
Because
90s video game models.
no, anyone who looks at those and goes, "Oh, so hot," get help. They are so blocky and pixelated that you cannot see anything on those, okay?
Don't yuck
Look at the
people's
animation.
yums. Don't yuck our audience's yums.
You can't see anything. It's like 2-bit animation on like these 3D models. Anyways, the show's voice cast is so fucking Canadian 90s.
I love it so
Almost
much.
everyone on that cast was a part of Dragon Ball, Gundam, Cardcaptor Sakura, Inuyasha, and Ranma.
And Digimon.
Ocean
Yep.
/ Blue Water Studios gathered a handful of actors and were like, "These are the chosen ones who will ring in the 90s in Canada."
Yep, 100%. Well, that was like,
And
wasn't that Wicked City as well? Where they
there was
just
a
had
bunch of
like
like,
the
yeah,
same
there's those
cast.
same casts that was just like the studio found them and they were like, "That's it, we're good.
Yep, we don't
We
need
got
anybody
it."
else.
Now, relating to the first 3 episodes, I want to mention a couple. Starting with Suezo / Black Dino's voice actor Scott McNeil,
Okay.
who I recognize from things like Dinobot and Rat Trap from Beast Wars. You might recognize as being the pilot of the Death Scythe from Gundam Wing Duo.
What?
You didn't pick up on that?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I've already forgotten Gundam.
Suezo is like a slightly more version of Duo.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
And
now that you're pointing that out, I'm like, I could see it.
and then Holly's voice actor, Maggie Blue
Sora.
O'Hara, who is also Tamio / Madison from Cardcaptor Sakura, and Bulma from Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, interesting.
Also, with the whole Dinobot and Black Dino thing, I love that Bro was like, "Oh, a dinosaur? I know the right voice," and it's the same Dino voice. There's no difference. He's like, "I'm a dino.
Just
I'm a
typecasting.
dino. We Gucci, all right? We Gucci."
Yeah, why try to, improve on perfection?
And you're not wrong, because I love Dinobot and I love his voice, and I would try to imitate it here, but I'm not gonna, because
No, that's
it'll
fair.
fuck it. I'm gonna try.
Okay.
He's like, Dinobot specifically, "Give me the disc." No, I'm not gonna do it.
I mean,
can
that
do
was
it in
pretty
Kermit.
close. Oh my gosh. Yes, we are aware you do Kermit.
There are some things. That's Dinobot.
There you go.
There are some things, Optimus, that you just don't understand about your Maximals.
That was pretty good.
The story as a whole, like I said earlier, it's fine.
Mhm.
There are some moments across the series where there's like certain revelations about our main characters. It's actually really good storytelling, but holy hell, if you know anything about Monster Rancher, you know that you don't want to watch 73 episodes of this, and it should have been like 24 to 30.
Yeah.
But that is the problem with 90s serialized anime, where you got to get
We
as
need
much
30
filler as you
episodes.
can out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, that being said, there are some good laugh out loud moments and some surprising tearjerker moments
Oh yeah.
in the first 3 episodes. So, like, that was nice. And then we've got our main characters who, love or hate them, we're stuck with them.
For 75 episodes.
And honestly, of the people we meet in the first 3 episodes, I think my biggest issue is with Genki.
Really interesting. Okay.
I know he gets better as the series goes on, but man, I cannot stand eternal optimism characters like that in large doses.
Yeah, that is fair. Yeah.
Like,
I definitely was like, I can understand why my parents were like, please turn down your show.
yeah, it's a lot. And again, I'm not saying he's a bad character.
No,
just-
not at all.
He just has no common sense, and it works for him. But as an
Mhm.
adult, I'm like, ugh. As a kid, I was like, yeah, Genki, I love this guy. He's so cool and excitable. And as an adult, I'm
And
like,
now
kid,
you're
you
bitter.
just chill, my dude.
You haven't seen what I have. Smoking a
Just-
cigarette.
just-
ashing
yeah.
it.
Darling, you haven't seen what I've seen in this world, okay? You think fighting the big baddie's problem? Try paying your taxes.
Oh my
Or
God.
just
Try
some
getting
bullshit like
dental
that.
care.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I love Holly, though. I think she's fun. She's
so
level-headed.
lovely. Mhm.
She's just this adorable little character. And of course, Mochi's adorable.
Oh.
Suezo's a bit of a
Yeah.
dick. A well-meaning dick who's just trying to protect Holly, but he's still a dick.
I enjoyed the show a lot more than I thought I would revisiting it. I was really worried that it was gonna be really bad going back and watching it, but no, it's still just as
Yeah.
delightful.
I'm gonna criticize some stuff when I break down my watch through
Oh,
here,
absolutely.
but it is still something that holds a little place in my heart.
Oh, yeah. I would definitely not be mad if I watched more of this. I
No,
probably will watch more of this.
I'm not gonna watch all 75.
No.
I have a few key, like, 5 to 10 episodes that I wanna, like, watch that my brain is like,
Remember these ones, young one.
so I'll probably go through those. But yeah, I'm not mad about it. I will probably check out those few that I want to watch. But speaking of watching the series,
Oh, yeah? We're gonna
we're
dive
gonna
right in?
we're gonna jump into this starting with the intro.
Ooh. Yeah, what a good place to start.
Now, I for some reason in my brain was like, no, this was just a Canadian TV show. And then it was like, no, you idiot. It came from Japan first, obviously. It wasn't like, avataring it or anything like that. But the American version of this theme song is wildly different from the Japanese version.
Oh, yeah. Like, not even in the same genre.
No, it's a techno beat paired with rap vocals, and then the Japanese version is like this acoustic turned pop song that like sounds exactly like your brain might be thinking it is for like an anime intro. And look, the English version is what most of our listeners will feel that sweet nostalgia for, and I do as well. I love that
Mhm.
song as a kid,
Oh, yeah. It's an
but
earworm for sure.
I have a comparison here of the English versus Japanese. I figured if I'm the one watching and reviewing, I'm a dig into this here for a bit.
Heck yeah.
So the English one as a rap was like, I was transported to a faraway land into the world where monsters rule. I played the game like an ace. Now we're in this place to save the monsters from the evil Mu. And then the Japanese lyrics are like sung beautifully, and it's like, in a bustling city that keeps on changing, we got all tripped up and once again we gave up. The things that make our lives hard to live were our own responsibilities. The green breeds, it is our only planet, and yet, then it moves into the other stuff. Wildly different.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
I know it's because English songs for cartoons typically have to be about what exactly the plot is.
Mhm.
Like, you're not going to get a cat dog show that's like talking some random thing. It has to be like a good old cat dog, half cat, half dog. Like,
Oh my gosh. Another
that's what you're
good
going to get.
90s nostalgia.
Yeah, exactly. But I still love the English version. Is the Japanese version better? Absolutely. For me, but the Japanese or the English version is still great. You could
Oh, yeah.
not have a Saturday morning cartoon in Canada with an opener like the Japanese version.
No, it wouldn't get you in there. It wouldn't make you stay. Unlike the English version, which like pumps you up and you are ready to go find
Yeah.
some monsters.
It's like 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday,
It was
and your
8
dad
o'clock.
is still sleeping, and you're in the basement just pumped. This rap song going, just like, hell yeah, Monster Rancher.
And
That
your
was
parents are
me,
like,
baby.
stop. Man, I miss Saturday morning cartoons.
It's something you don't get as an adult because, yeah, we can watch whatever we
No.
want whenever we want. And sure, we get like Free Run Fridays, a new episode of Free Run comes out or something like that with like modern anime stuff, but there's no get up early in the morning to watch a set amount of cartoons that you can't control what's showing,
You have
but
that like
they're
one weird
always
show that's like a
bangers.
half hour, and you're like, fine, I'll watch it because there's good stuff after.
Exactly.
I was gonna say, do you remember like getting the TV guide and like looking at what TV shows were on in what
Hmm.
order? Oh
Hell
my
yeah.
gosh.
When the TV guide had an anime character on it, I was like, oh yeah, we getting some good stuff this week. It was fantastic.
Mhm.
And I was so happy. But you don't really get that anymore. Not that I'm not excited when new stuff releases, on a Friday or whenever, but yeah, it's kids these days don't understand that magic. And I know kids still get Saturday morning cartoons, I know, but it's
Mhm.
not the same. It's not.
There's only one shot to watch it. Maybe another time when they run it again, but
In
yeah,
like
you
a
can't just
year.
like on demand. Yeah.
No, you know when I had to watch Dragon Ball, like the original Dragon Ball, I had to watch it at 2 a.m. after sneaking down and watching it as close to the TV as possible to keep the volume down because you didn't get TV headphones or anything like that. Like that was how I had to watch it. Nowadays, kids can just go on the internets.
Ugh, they don't know. Well, now that we've significantly aged ourselves and made ourselves sound like elder millennials sitting on our porches.
Now we've done that, let's break down episode 1 of Monster Rancher.
Woo!
Aptly titled In the Beginning.
Whoa. I wonder how they came up with that title.
It's pretty deep. We open up on the final round of a monster battle. It's Genki against this tank of a teenager.
Right? I was like, wow.
He's huge. And like,
isn't he called like Big or something?
It's Team Big, yeah. And it's all just like tank-sized football playing teenagers.
Man.
Ready to beat up this like 10-year-old. And like he like kicks Genki's ass and gets all cocky and he's like, I'm gonna just wait the timeout because you're on the ground. Which gives Genki this chance to bust his ultimate move and secure the win. The crowd goes wild over this like 25-second battle. Like modern day gaming tournaments don't even come close to this level of hype. It is off the chain what's going on in the atmosphere, the fireworks, everything inside this little
Yeah, they definitely like shelled out for special effects and pyro and stuff for this. I mean, I've never seen a professional video game competition, so I have no idea what the atmosphere is supposed to be like, but man, it is like
this one is bumping.
Mm-hmm.
So he wins this trophy and a promise to be sent the next game before anyone else can get it, which feels like an upper hand on the next tournament since he'll have more time with the game. But it doesn't matter because he's actually just dreaming and he's slacking in class, like woken up by his teacher as he screams, I love Monster Battle. And I'm going to put a guitar solo behind that. Turns out, though, that he wasn't dreaming. Well, he was, but it was a memory because he is the champ because he gets home and the game is waiting in his mailbox and he promptly runs upstairs to play the game. This kid doesn't even say hi to his mom. She like giggles about it. She's like, oh, you, and like gives him his after school snack. And he is absolutely an only child who is given anything he wants. His mom does everything for him, and he's going to be a terrible adult.
Oh, absolutely.
Learn as a kid to do laundry and cleaning, or else you're going to live in a shithole when you're an adult. And that's what
Maybe
I picture
Genki.
Genki.
Parents be like, teach your kids. Don't just let them walk all over you.
This is what I picture Genki being like as an adult. It's just like,
he's one of those guys on TikTok that are like, women, you know what men are interested in? We want you to be like our mother's generations.
I don't think he'll be like that. I think he'll be a cool guy. He'll just be dirty.
Oh,
his mom's going to come and do his laundry for him. I love that he's watching this opening cinematic for the game and it's like, look at these beasts. And it's like elephant, dinosaur, giraffe. But then we actually meet these monsters and it's like giant eyeball, golem, and like bird made of gelatinous milk held together by staples and dryer lint. I did make up that last one.
I was gonna say, I do not remember this character.
I did go through the entire listing of monsters available in this series, and I did not find that one.
Boo. See, least original monster creation of those three big ones.
There is gel troopers.
Yeah, yep.
Which I guess could be gelatinous milk dyed blue, but which could be the candy floss. Maybe they did do it right.
Whoa.
So anyways, we finally kick off into the game and we're hit this like this cutscene / I guess a glimpse into the real world.
I guess.
Of Holly and Suezo being chased through a canyon by a group of evil dinosaurs led by our titular Black Dino.
Ooh.
Towards this temple to activate their mystery disc. And at this point, Genki's game is like, hey bro, put in the next disc, which is fine. Games did that back in the day, but he's been playing for 5 minutes.
I know, right? Wow.
How high res is this PlayStation 1 game that it's like, we have a disc for every 5 minutes of gameplay? Oh, I also forgot that during this scene, he gets spat on through his television and doesn't think anything of it.
Right? I was like, what kind of 4D bullshit is this?
If my TV spat at me and I did not own a TV that could do that, I wouldn't just be like, huh, interesting, and then ignore it entirely.
I'd call an exorcist.
Yeah, even as a child, I would not have ignored that. Apparently, he's just in the zone.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, Holly is in this monster world, and I guess Genki at the same time pressed the button to unlock their disc. And hold up, time for a rap break.
Oh yeah, they do that in like the middle of the show.
The first pre-commercial is a rap break.
I love it.
We're rapping about baddies and other monster types we haven't seen yet, and clips from the show we haven't even seen. It's like, damn, bro, calm down. Let me enjoy what I'm seeing here.
Maybe they're just like trying to keep you in. They're like, look at all this cool shit that you're gonna see.
As an adult, I was like, man, this shit's annoying. But then by the second time I saw it, I was kind of like, okay, it's pretty fun. As like a child, I was like, yeah, I love this shit.
Still pumped. Still gonna stay pumped.
And like, it was kind of cool when you think back on it, because it's introducing you to creatures. It's giving you that reason to keep watching, because you might see like ooh, I really like that one. Can't wait to see when we see that one.
Mm-hmm.
But we get this rap break out of nowhere.
Yeah, the first time it happened, I definitely got like sideswiped with it.
You don't see it coming.
No.
And so we get back and Genki's been transported into the game / again, real world ?
Mm-hmm.
And then he promptly gets swallowed by a Suezo for making fun of him. And then I tried to think of a better way to word this, but it's my exact note.
I'm so ready.
A quick tickle of his throat pickle gets him spat out.
Oh my gosh.
That's what he does, okay?
It is true. It is what he does.
And then we get this like chase scene through the ruins, but they get away because apparently this 10-year-old can rollerblade like a professional aggressive inliner.
100%. I mean, Cat's Eye did it. Card Captors did it.
True. Suezo is a giant tadpole with a massive eye and is also just like cocky and insufferable.
Mm-hmm.
But every group needs a Suezo because like
absolutely.
he shuts down the dumb ideas.
He's not afraid to tell you you're wrong.
They escape and they are now camping out under the stars, and Holly is so bummed. She was hoping that this like mystery disc was going to unlock the Phoenix to stop the baddie from turning evil monsters, but instead got this annoying kid.
Yeah.
And like, this is not a good trade-off. It's like going to pick up your takeout and then getting all the way home before noticing they gave you the entirely wrong food, but they're now closed.
Oh, that's the most heartbreaking thing. That was
Yes.
me. That was me a couple weeks ago. I ordered pizza and they didn't put cheese on it.
What?
I was so mad. So yeah, it's like that.
Did you order none pizza left beef? Like,
I guess.
oh my god.
I changed the sauce and they went, well, guess she doesn't want cheese.
Dumb pizza place. Anyways, Genki is not worried about anything that just happened to him.
Right? Like, not even concerned that he's like potentially never going to see his parents again.
No.
He's never going to go home again. Like, is so chill. I would be freaking out.
Yeah, he's living his weeb-ass gamer dream right now. And none of that other stuff matters. He's just excited to be, quote, where the action is. Holly's also doesn't really seem to care about Earth much. She's just kind of confused how this happened, but she's not really worried about the logistics much behind it, just kind of like, huh? But she's also really excited because his PlayStation game disc looks like a mystery disc. And this is where we get some exposition about the world's troubles. Because it turns out a baddie is corrupting the discs to make a horde of evil monsters.
Oh no, who would
which
do
is
such a thing?
Yeah, well, it's a cool concept, except the baddie has the least scary name possible.
Oh yeah.
This dark a-hole is called Moo, like cow go moo, like murr.
Murr.
This is not evil or threatening in any way.
My brain kept autocorrecting it to Maul because I guess it
Which
was just
would
like,
be
yeah,
cooler.
it's scarier and it's a better
like
villain
Darth
name.
Maul.
Yeah.
Cover your ears for some people out there for some spoilers. The fact that he's actually like Holly's missing father merged with Moo's soul. Like, that's some cool shit and some really great storytelling. You'd think you could give him a cooler name, because when you see what he looks like, he's like this like beast-like dragon that eventually wears golden armor. And I'm like, I know it's a kid's show, but come on. Anything other than Moo.
Moo.
And like, there's times where like, oh no, the evil Moo. And I'm like, I can't. Every time.
Just bad milk.
Like, it's just
That's some sour milk over there.
And Genki's all, I'll destroy Moo. And then the dinos arrive. And they're all like,
How the fuck are you gonna do that, little boy?
and his response is to throw his PlayStation and rollerblade away.
Not the PlayStation. Also,
Now,
I love that you said they say to this child, "What the fuck are you gonna do?"
I know, like I mentioned, Genki becomes more of a hero type later on, but at the moment, this annoying little kid has legs and a lower back made of steel because he
Yep.
is bounding across treacherous terrain on these rollerblades with Holly on his back. And just watching that scene made my old man knees hurt.
Oh, yeah, I was like, "I can't even sleep on a different pillow without hurting myself," like
I'm only 35, and if I sit at my desk wrong for 5 minutes, I have to stretch. So, as they're running, the gang's like, we should use the CD in the temple to revive a monster because when you're being chased by monsters, you should go run an errand.
let's go get another monster. Let's just add monsters to this.
Yeah. But of course, as they're doing this, the dinos catch up, and somehow these three manage to fight off literal dinosaurs with frying pans and flying rollerblade kicks.
And, like, Scooby-Doo moments where they're just like, "Beep, beep, beep," like, they're chasing each other through oh my gosh.
While this happens, the disc summons a monster as the temple collapses and our gang escapes. The monster turns out to be this derpy looking creature that they named Mochi based on his sweet cake like appearance.
And the fact
Uh,
that he only says mochi, or
Pretty
mostly says
much.
mochi.
He can speak English, but
He can.
but this is not before they offer names like Citizen, Montezuma, Pinky Peach, and Trevor.
Trevor should have been the one.
Now, I should note I called Mochi derpy, but I don't mean that as a bad thing.
No.
Mochi is a cute little guy who makes a great companion.
Oh, absolutely.
He is
Especially
a
for
whiny little shit.
hyperactive 10-year-old.
Yes, he's a whiny little shit, but he is
Mhm.
adorable.
Mhm.
And we kind of like end on that note of like, we've given him a name, yay, and they hug or whatever. But speaking of Mochi, episode 2 is called I'm Mochi.
Whoa!
It turns out that Holly has a magic stone that points her in the direction of the nearest mystery disc.
Which I mean is super handy.
It is great plot armor, and it's a
Yeah.
great little like MacGuffin that just lets them not waste time, which I'm a fan of, or else this would have been
Yeah.
200 episodes.
Oh man.
Mochi is only motivated by food.
Fair. Me too.
So to stop it from crying, they're like, all right, we're gonna head to the nearest town to get some food. And Genki, being a little shit, is like, stop treating the literal baby as a baby. You're making him soft by holding him and carrying him when he's tired. And I'm like, bro, he was born yesterday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's like less than 24 hours old. Cut him a
Let
break.
Holly carry our sweet little baby.
How dare you?
How dare you? And then this same kid tries to go up a giant hill on his rollerblades by like walking with them sideways, only to end up sliding the whole way back down.
Yeah,
And then
maybe
decides
if
to
he like stopped daydreaming in school and actually
Maybe.
paid attention.
But so he ends up taking his rollerblades off and running back up, which is where we learn he does not have socks and has been going in these sweaty rollerblades this entire time sockless. And
Ugh.
Suezo's fine. He doesn't have a nose. Holly's probably making sure this kid sits at the other end of camp because them gonna be some stinky ass feet.
They're gonna be cheesy.
Thankfully, Holly's like, look, kid, we're gonna buy you some proper shoes. You're gonna destroy your feet on these hot rocks. And the town they go to is actually really nice looking.
Oh yeah.
There's monsters
lovely
and
little
humors
town.
working together, and thing seems great. And then they're like eating food, and Suezo's like, "Yo, bro, you owe us 20 gold for the food." And Genki's flabbergasted. Why should I have to pay my way if I'm helping you go and kill Moo? That should be enough. And it's kind of like saying Voldemort's name because every single person in this restaurant freaks out and runs for the hills because they don't want to be.
Yep.
They're like, I don't want to be tied to the kid that just said he's going to kill this evil guy.
Absolutely not.
Like he still thinks of Moo as this like video game boss battle
Mm-hmm.
and not this like evil entity
Evil
that is
force.
going to like, murder everyone.
Yeah, that's literally making things evil and bad.
Yeah. And now they can't do anything in the town because they're kicked out of the restaurant and they can't even shop because every shop is closing on them. Like the whole shopping district's like, nope, get out of here. Nope, 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 nope. And then boom, rap time, baby. And we get our
Whoa!
rap scene song where we get more monsters introduced. Haven't still seen my favorite pixie yet, but that's fine. We got her in the Moo
Whatever.
flashback.
Ugh.
But the gang ends up helping out an old man by like carrying him and his wife's cart up a hill. Of course, it's Suezo and Genki who have to carry it, and they are very much so understanding that this seems wrong. Why aren't you helping, Holly? But Holly's keeping the old man company, okay? Like, geez, guys.
Exactly. She has other things that she's doing to help.
Also, this is the same voice actor as our Dino/Dinobot, and he sounds like Dinobot as if Dinobot was older and a little less
Just
evil.
older and nicer.
Yeah. And they're like, hey, we'll give you some room and board for your help. And they're like, awesome. Thanks, guys.
I would love not to sleep on a forest floor.
The old man becomes very fond of Mochi. And they're like, oh, we just never had children. And we'd love to have like a little thing of our own one day. And Genki kind of has noticed this. And he's like, okay, interesting. I get
He's
it. I get it.
mine. Back off.
Well, you think that, but the gang ends up going looking for this mystery disc, and they end up having to dig holes as if they're like in the desert having committed crimes and their names are Shia LaBeouf. Until they're like, are you sure we got to do this? And it's like, no, we're good. It's somewhere near here. It's pointing in this general direction. And then it reveals that the disc is inside of a tree trunk this whole time. And we find this out because
darn it.
Holly almost gets fucking roasted by a lightning bolt that just happens to split the tree she's in front of. just that perfect, luck and that little bit of fate that it just happens to crack open that tree.
Oh, thank goodness we were here at this exact time, guys.
And as this is happening, like, it starts to rain, so they like turn down a nearby cave. And in the evening, Genki's like, hey, little guy, you should go back to the old man for your safety. And when Mochi's like, no, you friend, he yells at him again because he is the least nurturing person. You'd think a child that was so obsessed over by his mother would have some
He's an
sense
only child.
Mochi runs off into the storm, and the whole gang goes searching for him in the rain, only to be confronted by our dino duo Maxwell, where we get the first scene I actively laughed out loud at. So Mochi's hiding, and Black Dino's like,
I want him. Give him to me.
and Mochi's hiding nearby because he doesn't want to be found because he thinks Genki hates him. But then Genki's all like, he may be a monster, but he's a good friend of mine, and you're not getting anywhere near him. It cuts to Mochi in this like quick zoom in on his face as his mouth goes really wide. He just goes, oh, but in his Mochi voice, oh. And for some reason, I lost my shit at this moment.
I mean, it's highly comical. It's
And
ridiculous.
I just, because like it's this intense, like, I'm going to eat your friend. And then it's like, you can't have my friend. He's my friend. Oh, I don't know why. So you just gotta watch this episode. I think it's on Tubi. Yeah, it's on Tubi. It's on Tubi.
It is on Tubi.
And you'll see what I'm talking about. It's very funny. They end up like starting to fight, and this prompts Mochi to jump in with a flying kick and save them, giving them a chance to start rolling away. I say rolling because they're rollerblading. And he tries to jump this gorge, which leads to my next favorite scene, which is where he realizes they're not going to make it and just like turns around and runs back over the dino's back because they're kind of forming a bridge as they're jumping.
Mm-hmm.
It is classic Looney Tunes
It's
slapstick,
fabulous.
and it was amazing. So far, all we've seen of Moo's army has not been great. Like, I don't know how
No.
he's like some big evil guy that does all these things because these idiots couldn't catch a cold in the Arctic if they tried. And so
Oh my god.
Genki and Mochi reunite in a heartfelt embrace. And when I say these idiots, I mean the dinos.
Yes.
And they have this heartfelt embrace, and even Suezo has the, ooh, I could cry if I was a little less of a dick. He says something like that, but doesn't say the
He's
word
all eye and he can't cry.
dick. But in the morning, they go to the monster gate, they use their mystery disc, and it turns out to be an adorable little baby spot
It's
dino.
so cute.
It would be real helpful if they could get like a mature monster to help them, but
Mm-hmm.
it's only episode 2, so I get it. They gotta move slowly to fill in those
Fine.
73 episodes or
Ooh.
whatever. But as they leave, the old man is waiting for them with a new pair of shoes and a cloak for Genki. An incredibly wholesome moment. Genki is like, hey, Matthew and Lily, would you like Spot the Dino? This moment is too touching for a child's cartoon, okay? This old couple just wanted something to look at and have to care for, and now they've got this little baby. And they're crying and they're so happy. Old people being happy always makes me feel good. If you have good grandparents, pause the episode and give them a call. I actually called my grandpa after watching this just to say hi, and he was pretty happy I did.
Aw, that's
He's
so
he's
sweet.
95.
Mm.
But so we end on this just like wholesome moment with tears and love and just all this great stuff. That brings us into our third episode, which is called Guardian of the Discs.
Ooh, how ominous.
Oh yeah. And it takes a couple turns.
Yeah, I would agree there.
Because we start with another hungry Mochi again, who instantly becomes useless when he's hungry. And which doesn't
Fair.
stop from being cute, because this old lady is just like, hey, don't go down that road you're going down. There's an enigma that lives in the forest. And this sad little Mochi just kind of looks at her with these tears in his eyes and is like, will it make us lunch?
Oh, I mean,
Aw,
I would do
adorable. Genki's like, it'll take us 5 minutes, don't worry. And then he ends up giving his team the Ryoga treatment by getting them completely lost in the woods. And he keeps trying to scare them, being like, boo, boo, I'm an enigma, boo. And then he's like, don't worry about it. The scariest monsters always live in big castles, as the camera pans behind him and shows this giant castle.
Lightning all of a sudden shows up. There's a scream. No, I don't know.
And being the smart kids they are, they enter the castle.
Yeah.
And are confronted by a golem who they just decide to follow. And it leads them to a fucking graveyard.
Yeah. Holy moly. And it's like, not even like a tiny little, like it's a massive graveyard.
Like, there are thousands of mystery discs that can no longer be revived. That's a cool visual, but it's so morbid.
It's so dark.
Gotta teach them kids about death early.
I guess so.
They end up yelling at this golem because they think he's a murderer that killed all these people and has just been like planting their discs in these like vines.
Which, like, wow, how sick would that golem be if that was true?
And it's the complete opposite, because he ends up tending to a flower they ended up crushing as they were walking through. He leads them inside, but not before another rap break, baby.
What?
Anyways, turns out it can speak. It also has the voice of someone from Beast Wars, who is Rhinox, who is a rhino, by another 90s mainstay, Richard Newman. And Lindsay, you might actually know him as the voice of Oolong. From Dragon
another
Ball Z.
voice you can kind of do.
I can. But again, he also had roles in Gundam, Ranma, Cardcaptors, and all the other stuff, because they share everything. But some of our more keen viewers might know him as Mr. Turtle from Franklin.
What? I love that.
Golem is Franklin's dad.
Oh, it's Franklin.
Coming over to my house. I know Kermit's a frog and not a turtle, but
yeah, come on.
Okay, quick side story. I used to live with a bunch of like punks in a punk house back in the day, and we would watch Franklin on mute and do our own voices.
That sounds like an incredible bonding experience for a household.
I don't drink, so I'd be sober, but everyone else would be absolutely tanked. Just like, we each had our own character, and we just voiced the whole show, and we also did this for Zaboomafoo.
All the Canadian classics.
It was a good time. I think I have videos of it somewhere. If I can find them, I'll post them on the TikTok.
Incredible.
But so he tells him this tale of a great war that killed thousands, and it's his duty to guard these discs, which of course Suezo makes fun of for a second until the golem just gives him this look of like, I'll eat you. But much like Black Dino and Dinobot having the same personalities, this golem also has the same personality as Rhinox did, where he's just like stoic, a peace-loving individual.
Yeah, very to the point.
And honestly, like, as bland as just a golem is, a stoic, gentle giant taking care of flowers and tending to a graveyard is honestly pretty cool.
It's so sweet.
I like that kind of jazz. But then, forgetting the entire conversation they had the night before, Suezo's like, hey, you should just come fight with us, to the pacifist grave tender. He turns him down. And we cut to a field of blue piles of goo basking in the sun, tanning their gooey hides.
Man, I wanted to poke those things so bad. They look so
you
cool.
know that they probably feel great.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when you're at Lush and there's just some jelly stuff and you're like, I want to poke the gooey goo.
Let me poke it.
Let me poke the gooey goo. That can be taken out of context.
Let me poke the blorb.
Exactly. But so Captain Gel reconstitutes himself and starts yelling at his maggots to get up. And he's also voiced by another 90s Illuminati voice actor, Paul Dobson, and is also the most Full Metal Jacket drill sergeant shit you'll ever see. Tough Sarge, wussy soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And they go off on their journey, and Genki ends up following suit a little later and steps on one who overslept, where we learn the plan is to steal all of the discs from the graveyard so that they can eventually...
Yeah, they were just so open about that.
Yeah, like, again, this guy's baddies are useless right now.
They would literally tell you the big bad plan, just not even without any sort of, like, prompting.
And like they try to fight this thing, but they end up like winning by crushing it with a rock. But then they free it again for some odd reason.
Right?
I don't understand what they were doing.
I don't know.
But we end up back at the graveyard where the golem is confronting these gel troops, and they're like slapping the shit out of him without doing any damage because he's a rock and they're made of goo.
His constitution is slightly higher.
Yeah, unfortunately, all of this violence has made him comatose because violence is wrong and it stresses him out. And the captain ends up turning into a cannon and shooting this explosive ball that lives inside of all of them. And it knocks him down. So the baddies Gulliver the golem and start ransacking the place.
Did you just say the baddies Gulliver the golem?
Yeah.
Incredible wordplay.
And I was about to explain that, so I'm glad you picked up on that. For those that don't know what I mean, he's like a giant on the ground, tied down with ropes and stakes, like Gulliver's Travels.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you picked up on that. I'm very happy about that wordplay I did there.
That was excellent.
They start ransacking the place, and the poor guy just continues to panic and dissociate because of the act of evil happening in front of him. Like he's paralyzed. But don't worry, Genki and Mochi to the rescue with some hard punches, flying kicks, adorable sounds that do jack shit. You ever punched water? Because that's what punching these things is like.
Pretty much, yeah.
It hurts you more than it does the water. So they get their asses kicked. But it turns out, much like Rhinox, grave robbing and watching people you like getting hurt is enough for you to lose your shit.
Yeah.
And he goes white-eyed Super Saiyan and loses it. When I say he kills these gel troopers, I mean he actually kills them.
Yeah, they become discs.
He punches those so hard they turn into lost discs, which are discs that can't be revived. Yeah, like bro snapped. And then he, as soon as he like does this, he like snaps back out of it and he sees what he's done and he's like breaks down and starts crying and like, I get it, bro. I get it, man.
You lost control.
I feel so bad for him. And it turns out that his tears grow flowers.
I mean, from rocks, flowers shall grow? I have no idea. There's a metaphor there, probably. Yeah.
But it turns out that the Phoenix can revive these lost dead discs. So the golem's like, you know what? I'll stop crying and I'll join you so I can atone for my sins of murder.
When did he become Italian?
I don't know. It's not at all what he sounds like.
No, he's like very low and very like minimal.
This is kind of where we end, as the gang has now found a powerhouse who doesn't want to fight. So, bit of a thing.
Wonder what's going to happen.
But at least they have a giant shield.
Yeah.
Stealthing is out the window. You can't stealth.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
but again, they just keep calling him Golem because every golem is just called Golem.
Yep. His name isn't like Frank.
And you might be thinking, they do that in Pokemon. Pikachu's a Pikachu's a Pikachu's a Pikachu. But you can still nickname your Pokemon in the series, and a lot of people do in the games. But in this show, no one even thinks to do it. And these things can speak English. So, like, you think they'd have some personhood.
Yeah.
These 3 episodes filled a nostalgia gap for me.
Excellent.
Like I said earlier, I'm not going to watch the whole series. I got some key episodes I want to finish up and watch on. And if that sounds like I didn't like it, or anything that says that it sounds like I didn't like it, that's not the case. It was fine. It was fun. It was silly. I wasn't mad about it. I picked apart some stuff. Genki annoys me a little bit, but overall,
his name means energy, so
it does mean energy, and he's got a shit ton of it.
So much.
But overall, as a kid, I really liked this show because it was in that similar vibe of Pokemon and Digimon with like collectible monsters. It was back when Isekai was still not overplayed too much. It doesn't hold up 100%, but it's still, if you're looking for a fun little nostalgic watch of like a kid's show that's like anime but not too anime, this is a good place to go.
When I was watching it, I did Google like, is Monster Rancher actually an anime? And yes, it is. It is from Japan.
It is.
So,
well, not all animation from Japan is anime.
No, some of it's hentai.
Well, that's still anime. No, there was no pantsu in this, thankfully.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that'd be weird because Holly's like 13. The only pantsu we get are on Pixie.
Pixie.
Man, you're just gonna watch the Pixie episodes, aren't you?
That's one of the ones I'm pulling up is the Pixie, and the other one where she goes good.
Oh my gosh.
Her going good brings me down bad.
What are you teaching our audience?
Look, I've looked at our age stats. Everyone's in like the 27 to 35 range.
Oh, we're fine then. Never mind.
We're fine.
Let's ruin a childhood cartoon for everyone.
I'm sure we've done it before. We'll do it again.
Yeah, we won't stop. We got this. But anyways, yeah. So how would you rate this show then?
I would probably give it a 6.75. No, that's too high. 6.35.
Well, you were closer with your first one.
Oh.
I'm looking at IMDb though, because I have not seen the Mal yet for it. But on IMDb, it is 6.9.
And I think that's a fair score.
Oh man. Well, I'm glad we could make up for last week's episode.
I mean, I got off lucky. You could have given me, like, I gave you pantsu, and I'm also in charge of the April Fool's episode. So you could have retaliated. You might retaliate after that one, but I got off easy, and I'm very appreciative of what what I got to watch.
I can't do another week of traumatizing.
I don't think I could have watched, or sorry, I don't think I would have watched Monster Rancher for years had you not brought it up. Because it's always in the back of my mind as like a nostalgia thing, but I just never had like an inkling to watch it. So
And now I made you. You're welcome.
Thanks, Monster Rancher mommy.
No. I got one more question for you before we head out here.
Okay.
If we were 8 years old playing this on the playground, like I did in elementary school, who would you play?
Myself?
Yeah, because I was Moji. So who would you be?
Oh, I'd be Genki.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, there's other characters like Hare. Maybe I would have played Hare if we had watched enough episodes of that to, meet Hare and whatnot. But like,
yeah,
I'd probably have played Genki. You were a Mochi.
Yeah, I was a Moji.
I would play. So I had multiple things like this that we played on the playground. So when it was Card Captors, I was obviously Saren. When it was Dragon Ball, I would play Trunks. My only other option of the ones that we've met really would have been to be Golem or Suezo, and ain't no way I'm being either of those two.
No,
so
that's fair.
I would definitely have been Genki. I could see you being
Digimon?
a Mochi.
Who would you be in Digimon?
Oh, so I wore goggles as a kid like Ty. Yeah, you heard it here, people. I wasn't cool.
Who was?
I also had a purple mushroom cut like Trunks for a while as a kid. But anyways,
Wow.
TK was my favorite.
TK
But
was adorable.
If I had to play on a playground and I got to pick whoever I wanted to be, oh man, I probably would have picked Ty. Matt with a close second though.
Mm-hmm.
Although Izzy.
Now I've unlocked like a crisis for you.
I'm gonna go spend the next 2 hours thinking about this.
Yeah. Oh man. Do I even ask what Digimon you would be then?
Oh, absolutely. I would be Patamon because then I get to turn into Angemon and get to hang out with Angewomon, and that is absolutely worth it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I always wanted to be Mimi.
Oh.
And then monster or Digimon wise, I was Patamon, but then we got Gatomon, and then I was Gatomon.
Gatomon's badass.
Hell yeah.
Gatomon is champion level at that level. It's just
That's
crazy.
So crazy. Man.
Now, later on in the series, I'd probably be Willis from the movies where he gets those two Digimon that are corrupt. I loved Willis.
I think I do. I mean, I'm not as familiar with the later on stuff, but I think I remember Willis.
If I make you watch Digimon, it might be the Digimon movie.
Okay.
If you don't make me watch Digimon first.
It's always this weird standoff of like who's gonna make who watch Digimon first.
Since my knowledge is a little more in depth, I try to pull away from the stuff that you would likely pick. Just because if I'm like, oh, we're gonna do Inuyasha, and we're gonna do Pokemon, and we're gonna do Digimon, and we're gonna do Monster Rancher, and we're gonna do all this stuff, you're gonna be like, what do I have left?
You have no idea what I have. You have no idea what my Pinterest board looks like.
I mean, from like the mainstays,
Yeah.
like the big five from our childhood.
Oh man. Yeah, I love it. Oh man. Well, that was Monster Rancher, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed our little trip down memory lane. And tweet us. Who would you be if you were playing this on the playground at your elementary school? What character would you be? I want to know. Are there any Suezos out there? Oh man. But anyways, you
I know a
can
few Suezos in real life.
you can find us across all social media platforms at Animates. We would love if you followed us, talked to us. We'd love to interact with you. Well, anyways, we'll see y'all back here next week for whatever Mackenzie has in store for me. Hopefully it's something not crazy. But yeah. Anything else, Mackenzie,
Bye.
before we head out? No?
Nope.
Okay. Bye.